Welcome to Perimenopause Explained. This is the hormonal shift that no one warned you about, but we're going to get down. We're going to break down exactly what's happening in your body and some hormone supportive habits you can begin to bring in to bring about hormone alignment. So, welcome to the training today. Here is exactly what we're going to uncover. Firstly, your changing sex hormones. This is a huge component of why we start to experience symptoms in perimenopause. We're going to break it down. Number two, we're going to talk about the metabolism switch. This is huge. This is a huge indicator which throws off a lot of other hormones, and it may be causing also for you to stay in fat storing mode rather than being in fat burning mode. And it can cause belly fat accumulation, weight gain in other areas, subcutaneous fat. So we're going to break that down for you. Number three, we're going to talk about the effect unmanaged stress has in perimenopause. This is a huge one and it's often overlooked. So we're going to break that down. And number four, how this manifests as symptoms. So what you're actually experiencing. And you're going to walk away with 3 actionable tips for achieving natural hormone harmony. So who this is for and who it isn't for. Number one, this is for you if you notice your body and cycle is changing without any lifestyle changes. And that is huge. I see this with a lot of my clients is that they come to me with so many symptoms and they're like, I haven't changed anything. This is just me. And I don't know what's going on with my body. So don't worry, we're going to explain it all. This is for you if you're experiencing classic perimenopause symptoms we see: mood swings, brain fogs, rage, anxiety, depression, hot flashes, poor sleep, night sweats, low libido, infrequent changing cycles that cause you to question the timing of when you're going to get your period. All of that, we're going to break it down. This is for you if you keep gaining weight despite your efforts. I also have another incredible video, which is called the Perimenopause Belly Fat Blueprint. And that one just solely talks about weight loss. That's another great resource if you're looking for that. And this is for you if you want to get back to feeling like you again. And this is one of the top things when I work with women. They're like, I just don't feel like myself. I want to get back to feeling like myself. And that's exactly what we're going to do. This is for you if you want to finally understand what's happening to your body, because we're not taught these things. A woman goes through 3 hormonal, 2 or 3, depending on if you have kids, changes in her lifestyle: puberty, pregnancy, and perimenopause, right? The 3 Ps. And nobody ever teaches us how to go through it, how to manage these things. And so this is what this video is designed for. My big promise is that in the next 25 minutes, we're going to solve this problem once and for all. You're going to walk away and you're going to understand the hormonal changes that occur in perimenopause. You'll also understand how your current lifestyle may not be supportive to your changing body. And there's absolutely no judgment here, because what you don't know, you don't know. I myself, just 6, 7 years ago, was living a completely different lifestyle and really neglecting my hormones, gave myself a hormonal condition as a result, and that caused me to change my habits and support my hormones to reduce growth that had started happening in my uterus. So I absolutely have been there, and it's a huge game changer once you start realigning your hormones and experiencing easy, pain-free cycles, regulating everything. We're also going to talk about how to boost your metabolism and burn fat, a big one, and your confidence will soar as a result. Hormone supportive habits you can start doing, and you'll walk away, like I said, with 3 actionable steps you can take to start realigning your hormones. And this is in just 2 weeks. Now, typically we say it takes about 3 cycles for you to see a huge change. But when you start supporting, detoxing, properly caring for your hormones, you're going to feel instant relief. Now, the problem may not be solved as a root cause, but you're going to experience so many beautiful things and you're going to start feeling instantly better. So why I've put this training together for you today, and this is my plan, is number one, because I work with so many women in perimenopause who feel confused about what is happening to their body. That's the first thing they come to me with. They're like, I don't know what is going on. Just fix me. Put me back to where I used to be. And so that is exactly what I want to help you with. I want to help you understand that you are playing a hormonal game. You're not playing a classic dieting game that you're using classic dieting strategies which neglect your hormone biology. Absolutely not. your body is switching up the hormones. And so you have to play chess with that as well. And I want you to know that feeling normal again is 100% possible. I've seen through my clients that their incredible results are achievable, and I want you to experience them for yourself too. I want you to have actionable steps that you can take on a daily basis for this hormone alignment. And I 100% know that we can get you back to feeling like you again in your 25-year-old body. That is the motto of my company. Get back to your 25-year-old body and restore hormonal balance in 45 days. It's exactly what we're going to do. If you stay towards the end, I'm going to give you so many incredible things. Number one is my 5-day perimenopause reset plan. This is a huge game changer to give you a beautiful reset to bring in hormone supportive habits in just 5 days. You're going to also get a hormone cheat sheet. So through this video, we're going to learn about different hormones and a hormone hierarchy and how we can basically hack those hormones and just get a better understanding of what's really going on, what's changing, why this is causing symptoms. This cheat sheet is there because it combines all of the hacks that you can use. For example, estrogen is listed if you're estrogen dominant. There are certain hacks that we can bring in to properly metabolize and detox estrogen better. Very easy lifestyle supportive habits. You're also going to get 2 Elevate in 10 workouts. So basically, these are time efficient 10-minute workouts, which boost your metabolism and keep your energy stable throughout the day. You're also going to get my From Fatigue to Freedom video series. This is a 3-part series, and it teaches you a couple of things: how to reclaim your energy, boost your metabolism and burn fat, and then create hormone harmony. And lastly, and this is the best one, is you'll have an opportunity to book in with me a complimentary midlife optimization session where you'll walk away with a customized blueprint just for you. So who the heck am I, right? Why should you listen to me? So number one, I am a former 2-time world champion Latin dancer. It is that dancing background which caused a lot of body dysmorphia. I had a lot of shame around my body as I was going through my own hormonal transition. And I did 10 years of fat dieting. Like I mentioned previously, gave myself a hormonal condition. And it was only when I started to support, properly care for my hormones, detox them, metabolize them better, that I reversed growths in my uterus because I gave myself adenomyosis. I also had hypothyroidism, was having chronic hair shedding, low energy, weight gain, all of it. All is good now. Okay, so all of these hormone habits, that's what brought me into this world where I became an IIN and MyMT certified menopause health coach. I am also the founder of my company, This Isn't a Diet. I'm the best-selling author of Read This When You're Done Dieting, which basically teaches you how to connect your blood sugar, hormones, your gut health, your vibrational frequency, all in there to align your body systems in order to achieve hormone harmony, to just feel your best, to connect all of these symptoms and give you a better understanding of your body as well. I'm also the podcast host of Listen to This When You're Done Dieting. So the biggest problem that you're currently facing right now is that you might wake up feeling exhausted and you might be holding the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? Like there's so many things that you do. I know as a woman, we take so much on. Like we can do it all, right, sister? And I feel you there, and not being able to perform at your best, whether it's at work, whether it's in your social life, whether it's in your family life, that is detrimental. And this is because, number one, you're not taught how to navigate this hormonal transition with ease, right? Nobody teaches us this. And we're expected to just deal with it, to get on, to act as if every day is the same. And it's not, because our hormones change every single day, especially as you're going through this transition, right? Number two, your habits may not be supportive of your hormones. And there's no judgment here at all, because like I said, just 7, 8 years ago, I was living the most unsupportive life for my hormones. And it's no wonder I was struggling so much with my hormones. And even now, if I get off routine, if I neglect some habits, I really feel it. And so this is what I want to teach you and help you bring in a little bit better supportive habits and routine. And you may be trying symptom relief techniques. Okay, so when I was in my hormonal transition phase and I was trying all these different things and seeing all these different things on social media, I spent $80,000 on supplements, on diets, on poor food choices, on workout plans. And it didn't address the root cause. I was $80,000 out and I was feeling exactly the same. If anything, I had put on more weight and my growth in my uterus were worse. So we need to address the root cause. That's why I want to teach you about your hormones and what's actually going on with your body. So that way you can make better educated choices. And on top of all of that, you are expected to continue on every day as if nothing is wrong. There's a statistic in Canada where 1 out of every 10 women that are going through the menopause transition, they end up leaving the workforce because it's just too much and they're not able to cope with the transition and with their lifestyle that they had previously. Now, this transition should be easy, pain-free. It should be a beautiful experience, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So, the underlying pain and frustration that this is causing in your life is perhaps an inability to think clearly. When you have that brain fog and you're operating at maybe 50% of what your potential is, that is a huge impact. I want you to also have energy to go throughout your day, to feel like you did when you were 25 and you woke up and you didn't have to rely on caffeine or sugar or just cortisol and adrenaline to get through your day. And I want you to be able to maintain that beautiful confidence that is in there. I want you to feel, or I don't want you to feel like your body is working against you. I want you to feel in alignment, supporting your hormones. And you might feel that your career, your social life, your family life is impacted because you aren't operating at that peak energy. And that is really scary when you're not able to even fill up your own cup. How are you expected to fill up all these other cups and all these other roles that you take on in your life? So this is exactly what you want. This is what I'm going to show you how to get today. I want to take a second before we get into the deep hormonal talk. How would it feel like getting back to feeling like you again when you're operating at your peak energy and focus? And of course, you're symptom free, right? So I want you to go back. Imagine yourself when you were in your early 20s. How did it feel when you woke up? How did it feel when you had that glow? When you were going into your day, you were actually excited about tackling all the things that you had, about having time for yourself, and just honestly feeling like a badass queen that you are. How would that feel? So I want you to imagine that version of yourself. And what would this mean for your work, for your family life, and for your social life? Would you have more time? Would you be able to get that promotion that you've been working towards or stand up for yourself, take on more of a leadership role at work? What would this mean for how you spend time with your kids, how you care for your parents, how you spend time with your partner? Everything is impacted by this. And this is the path that you need exactly to take to get the results. We're going to go through the method together. We're going to firstly understand what's going on with your changing sex hormones. Okay, so this is what they haven't taught us yet. In early perimenopause, we have something, and this is in regardless of your cycle, whether you're in perimenopause or not, we have something called a follicle stimulating hormone. This is hence why they call it the follicular phase, is because that FSH hormone is being sent down to your ovaries. And this is basically, it knocks on the door of your ovaries and goes, hey, we're going to need an egg in a couple of days for ovulation. This is your warning sign. Please send estrogen into circulation. Please prepare that egg for us. And so now when we enter perimenopause, our body needs to scream louder at our ovaries in order to basically prepare that egg. So it will send more FSH hormone down. It's going to bang, it's going to scream, it's going to break the windows down of your ovaries, and more estrogen is going to be sent into circulation. And that's for that egg preparation. So what happens is you have more estrogen and you have more erratic estrogen fluctuations. So this you might see like closer together periods, heavier bleeding, mood swings, like a lot of classic estrogen symptoms that we see. So this is where we see the symptoms. You also might have belly fat, increased belly fat without any lifestyle changes. And this is what we call estrogen dominant belly fat. because estrogen, it can also bind to adipose tissue receptors. So those receptors, it can basically bind, it creates more fat, creates more receptors, estrogen can bind again. It's like this vicious cycle. So that is one reason, maybe one potential culprit of weight changes you might be experiencing. You might have heavy, painful cycles. And if your cycle is kind of a purplish color with clots, it's a thicker consistency, then this is a sign that we're dealing with some estrogen dominance. I always like to say that your period is your hormonal report card. And so when you notice the color and the consistency, that's your feedback on a monthly basis. You might be experiencing PMS. PMS is not normal. I know that as a society, we have normalized it and we call it literally the week before your period, we call it PMS week. Absolutely is not the case, and it is a sign of a hormonal imbalance. You might be experiencing bloating or breakouts. And this can also, when you have high estrogen, it can throw off your thyroid hormones, that T3 to T4 conversion. And the reason behind this is because your body's always operating in equilibrium. So it will under or overcompensate certain hormones. So if your thyroid is being impacted, you might see that your hair is shedding more. You might have brittle nails. They're easily breaking, chronic low energy, fatigue, weight gain. They all play hand in hand. And that's why it's never just one hormone that's off balance, because your body is operating in this teeter-totter equilibrium. And as we're talking about equilibrium, is that your progesterone levels, basically estrogen and progesterone, they compensate. And then we get a sprinkle of testosterone around ovulation, but they're always in fluctuation throughout your cycle. When you're constantly having higher or erratic estrogen, your progesterone is going to take a back seat. And this is very detrimental because estrogen loves to create growth in the body, firstly, but secondly, because progesterone is responsible for creating that deep, calm, restorative sleep. And so you might be experiencing restless sleep. You're not able to enter deeper sleep or just feel calm. You might feel more anxious as you go throughout your days. And so this is where that estrogen to progesterone ratio we need to balance out. We do this in my company through aligning your foods and your workouts around your cycle because we want to help you regulate estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone production and detoxification. So, how that works basically in your first cycle, we help you create enough estrogen in your body. And we make sure that that's being detoxed and metabolized properly through your gut and through your liver, making sure nothing is backed up, you're having your toxins flow freely, your pathways of elimination are open to make sure estrogen is not causing any problems. And then we make sure that your progesterone is being boosted through your foods, and making sure that cortisol is being managed efficiently in the second half of your cycle. This, again, very sciencey talk, I apologize, but cortisol can bind to those progesterone receptors and it can inhibit progesterone from being properly created in your body. And so this is where we need to make sure that cortisol is being balanced. And again, all of the hormones are operating in proper equilibrium. So this method, it will not only work on your sex hormones, but it also regulates other hormones as the body comes into that healthy, balanced state. Okay. We're going to talk about the metabolic switch. You can already see here from this little cute graphic, we're going to be talking a little bit about insulin resistance. And it says here, it says a supervillain and an invisibility cloak. I absolutely love this little graphic. It's so cute. So as we age, the risk of insulin resistance increases. So what does that mean? In a healthy body that intakes glucose and metabolizes it well, is that basically if you have a little bit extra glucose, your pancreas will release insulin, and that insulin will bind to the glucose. It will then either put it in your liver, your muscles, or your fat storage, kind of like a bank, right? Like when you go and put money into your savings, you're going to use that later, right? So it's basically you're depositing some of that glucose into the bank for later use, right? Whether that be in your muscles for next time you go work out, for your fat storage, the next time you're going to burn fat for fuel. So we have all of these different pathways. When you're insulin resistant, they cannot bind to each other. Okay, so that glucose and that insulin, they're just going to be free floating throughout your body. You might be experiencing that you have increased fat storage. You're going to experience energy dips and crashes. This endangers other hormones. And most importantly, people are finding through studies that this is the precursor. This is your body's literal red warning flag. It's going, it's waving it, a red flag right in front of you for metabolic diseases like diabetes, cancer. I don't want to scare you with this, but this is the reality. We need to get in charge of our insulin. We need to balance our blood sugar levels naturally. I also want to point out to you that there are hidden sugars and chemicals in your foods and drinks. Also in, by the way, artificial sweeteners. Uh, they're not, no, they're a big no. And they're apparent in your foods and drinks, causing chronic glucose and insulin spikes. And there's so many names for them. One of the most common ones is high fructose corn syrup. Now, fructose is a type of sugar. Okay. And that sugar, it goes straight to your fat storage. Okay. And so we really want to be careful with a lot of different sugars that we see. There's so many names, maltodextrin, there's so many chemically names which we can't pronounce and we just look at the ingredient list and we're like, okay, I don't even know what those are, but I'm not going to bother. And so these hidden sugars and chemicals are creating a lot of this insulin resistance. And scientists they're really smart. Food companies are so incredibly smart. They've created this bliss point with your food, which is the perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat. And that causes addictiveness so that way you develop food addiction. That's why, for example, when you eat, let's say Pringles, I love Pringles, but you can't stop at just one. You have to finish the whole tube, right? And so this bliss point, it really just puts your brain and it hijacks your brain to make sure that you want to eat more and more and more of that food. If you don't understand the ingredients on the label, don't consume it. I always say to my clients, you want to be shopping the outer rings of your grocery store, and that is one of the best ways to go about it. Getting your whole foods in, things that don't have an ingredient label, like your whole foods, fruits, vegetables, meats, cheeses, all of these beautiful foods which don't come in a package. And if they do come in a package, you need to really look at and understand what is going into the things that you're putting into your body. Hacking your blood sugar is 100% possible. This is what we teach in my programs. And we do this to keep both glucose and insulin steady throughout your day. And this is insane because not only will you see huge belly fat reduction, but you're also going to notice your perimenopause symptoms completely disappear. It's all connected because insulin is a foundational hormone. When you get insulin under control, not only will the weight shift, but your sex hormones will shift, your thyroid hormones will shift. That's because, like I said, we're all operating in equilibrium. Now we're going to come to one of the most important and overlooked ones is the effects of unmanaged stress. The reason I say it's overlooked is because stress is inevitable, right? We're kind of always just in the mindset of I'm going to be stressed. And what? I'll deal with it. I'll push through. But let's talk about the effects of what that happens. Cortisol and insulin sit at the bottom of this hormone hierarchy. When those are out of balance, if you're having insulin resistance or you're having chronic high cortisol, the rest of your hormones are going to be in fluctuation. You're not going to have the consistency. You're going to have symptoms. You're not going to really know what's going on from a hormonal perspective. Um, I also like to call women in perimenopause, they're in their sandwich area. They're juggling so many demands at once. It might be demanding career, kids, and becoming teenagers, and maybe going off to university. And it might also be aging parents that you're worried about, a social life, managing a house, all of these incredible things, but that comes with a lot of stress. And so juggling all of that, it can leave you not giving yourself enough time, enough boundaries, and it may leave you with just feeling chronically stressed. You're basically relying on that cortisol and adrenaline to get throughout your day. And when you push through, I want to just pause here for a second because the push through, I know. I grew up as a dancer. Since I was 3 until I was 24, that beautiful long career, it was push, push, push through. No sleep, wake up, go to the gym, dance all day for 8 hours in heels, teach the rest of the evening. Your body, it just, that push through. I know I've lived in survival and burnout mode. I absolutely know how you feel right now. Pushing through, and when you give yourself the freedom and the boundaries, it is incredible the difference that you feel. When you neglect yourself, the same way that I was, like I said, no judgment, it causes that chronic high cortisol. Your body is literally living in survival mode. It cannot properly reproduce. It cannot properly thrive in the way that it should. You might have other symptoms. You might have that belly fat that's accumulating. You might have so many other things, that rage, mood swings, whatever, and every single perimenopause symptom out there. So I don't want that for you. And I also want to help you realize, and this is so interesting, is that they have now done studies on the brains of perimenopausal women during perimenopause, obviously. And they found that the brain literally starts to rewire itself. Your body is literally setting you up for like a new chapter in your life. And they found that the emotional centers in your brain are being activated. And this is why, if your partner, husband, lover, whatever, even breathes in the wrong sort of tone and you feel this rage bubble up inside of you, that's that emotional center being activated. And actually, this is your body finally asking you to stand up for your needs. It's a new season of your life. That's why so much rage, mood swings, it comes in. And so this is a really interesting one that aligns with the high cortisol that we experience and how to manage that. This is where it's really important that we do nervous system regulation. This is highly important. We want to get you back in your parasympathetic state. That is your rest and digest state where you should be the majority of time. But unfortunately, a lot of us are living in a chronically stressed state. We call that your sympathetic nervous system. And this is where cortisol is chronically high. Your body cannot properly function, cannot properly rest and digest. So we also use vagal tone tools to stimulate the vagus nerve to help you enter your parasympathetic nervous system for longer in your day. That's a great one. And it becomes mandatory during this hormonal transition. This is the most important and often overlooked solution out there. So I want to give you 3 actionable tips for achieving natural hormone harmony. Number one, I want you to start waking up, starting your mornings with warm lemon water. Put half a lemon in there. You need that. It's a beautiful way to start to detox your liver so it can properly flush toxins and filter hormones to be excreted. I want you to also have a protein-rich breakfast within 1 hour. Okay, your body needs that to keep your energy levels steady, to keep you in fat burning mode. Yes, our bodies work differently from men. Intermittent fasting cannot be done at every point in the cycle. There are times for it, granted, but especially during this hormonal transition, I'm always very wary of introducing it. And so having that protein-rich breakfast so your body can properly regulate its energy, manage stress, keep cortisol down, really important. And I want you to have your caffeine after, okay? If you're having your caffeine first thing in the morning, what are we doing? We're spiking cortisol instantly. You're setting your day up for like a roller coaster of energy dips, cravings, um, and just that anxious feeling, okay? Number two, I want you to begin a detox practice. We're going to talk about an infrared sauna practice. This is one of the best because your skin is it is your largest organ and it's a beautiful pathway of elimination. So when you're sweating, you're allowing pent-up toxins and hormones to be excreted. The infrared is also an incredible way because it pushes toxins out of your cells. And so when you do this 1 time per week, studies have shown that longevity, inflammation is decreased, longevity is increased. So it's a beautiful, beautiful practice and it's so good for your endocrine system. I want you to also begin setting boundaries around your time. This is really important. What's your cutoff for work? What's your cutoff for having a wind down routine so you can protect your sleep, you can protect the blue light that's coming into your eyes before you go to bed, having a good wind down routine. And that is so important because we as women need 8 to 10 hours of quality sleep per night. So when you set yourself up and you set the boundaries around your time, this is a huge one. And this is actually so difficult for us as women because we're always like, oh, I can fit this one more thing in, or oh, my kids need me here, or we're so selfless, but we need to be more selfish in this transition. Your body's literally asking you for that. These small steps, they're going to kickstart your hormone healing journey. So we had this beautiful client, and she's still working with us. So we're still excited to see huge changes. Her body composition changed in just 2 to 3 weeks. Like we can see in that picture, she lost inches off her waist. And she came always waking up. She came to me and she was like, Megan, I'm always waking up at 4 a.m. And so she already reports she's able to sleep throughout the entire night. She feels full and satisfied after meals. She has stable energy throughout her day. So her symptoms are literally gone. And we're working towards her weight loss goal. She's already seeing huge results. And then we also have Ingrid. Ingrid came with a myriad of symptoms, and her biggest thing was she wanted to lose weight. So she lost 10 pounds in just 40 days. She reported being able to see her abs for the first time in years. And she was not able to take a picture of herself before. I have no before pictures of her. She just couldn't do it. But look at her now. She looks so confident. She looks incredible. And that confidence, that restoration, she feels like her 25-year-old self again. We re-regulated her nervous system, prioritized insulin balancing and hormone detox. Okay. So I want to just invite you to look at like what could your story look like 45 days from now? What would it be like to feel like you again, to be symptom free, to be able to go about your day, to operate at peak performance in your work life, your home life, your social life, to just be without having that constant fatigue there. I want to ask you, are you my next success story? I would love, absolutely love to help you feel like you again, get your 25-year-old body back, all of that jazz. So you have the opportunity to book in a consultation below with me. And on the call, what we're going to discuss is number one, what you've tried before and why it hasn't worked. Okay, so most of the times I see women coming to me, they're trying symptom relief techniques. They're not addressing the main hormonal root cause. That's what we discuss. We're going to discuss what your goals are for this year. We're going to set a plan in place of how we're going to achieve them, the exact roadmap that you're going to need to execute on for this to work. We're going to talk about the next steps to becoming a private client of ours. And literally every single person that books in, they're going to be leading with a customized blueprint worth $800 regardless. So the biggest obstacle that you face right now is perhaps you decide to put it off. You're like, no, my symptoms aren't that bad. You kind of gaslight yourself. You might lose motivation. You watch this video and you're like, I'll book in later. Let's see how I feel. No, if you're feeling bad and you've stayed with me on this video till now, that's the motivation. Book in, let's chat. I would love to help you. You might feel that you're getting stuck. And you just have this, question mark in your head. What should I do next? That's exactly what I want to help you with. You tell yourself excuses. You might be scared to take care of yourself, to prioritize yourself. That is absolutely, you're right, because you need to fill basically from a full and overflowing cup. If you are trying to fill other people's and other demands that you have from literally half or a quarter cup, it's not going to go very far. And Einstein said that literally the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's time to try something different. I would love for you to take action and the offer to schedule a free plan. Take action now or repeat the same thing that you've always done. So what you need to do next, you can head to thisisn'tadiet.com/booking. You can book in a complimentary consultation with me. And I'm so excited to meet you, to help you, to give you more actionable tips on the call. After you've booked in, we're going to meet. We're going to have that call. You're going to walk away with that blueprint. You can begin implementing. The link is also available in the description below to book in. Some common frequently asked questions. What is this call about? This call is about basically understanding your situation more, giving you actionable tips that you can begin implementing to help you feel better like now. Am I talking to the real coach? Yeah, you're going to be talking to me. I need to know every single client that walks through the door. I need to know exactly what they're going through so I can make the best educated choices for them. Why is this different from anything else that I've tried? Well, we're going to be dealing with the root cause. We're not going to be doing targeted symptom relief. No, no, no. We're going to be basically getting deep, down and dirty, giving you a realistic lifestyle plan. I worked with so many women who have busy schedules. I work with surgeons, I work with therapists, I work with high executives. And these are busy women that when they take that full leap and they prioritize themselves, then they're able to actually communicate that they're able to have a beautiful, rich life to perform better in their work, life, home, social life, everything. And what do I get if I decide to work with you? You get so many incredible things. You get customized plans. I do meal, fitness, life stressors, detox, sleep optimization. We pull in things from traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, biohacking. I'm huge on that. You get access to my course with my full fat burn protocol and hack your body method, which will help you align your body systems to shed unwanted weight and to basically provide that full re-regulation of your hormones and that symptom relief that you're looking for. Okay. And how much does it cost? Absolutely nothing. This call is free. I can't guarantee you access to my programs. I'm very busy, and this is simply to help people who are serious about their goals. Do I guarantee results though? Yes, I absolutely do. So I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to get into it. I'm so excited to see you on the call. Book at the link below or head to thisisn'tadiet.com/booking. See you soon.